Well, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It's 11:11 p.m. on the 27th, Thanksgiving Eve in the United States. I've been up since 3 a.m. and I did not get a nap today. I got to watch my grandchildren all day, plus three additional neighborhood children. I had six children in the house a number of times throughout the day. And at one point in the afternoon, I almost broke down and cried. Talk about overwhelming. I didn't realize that kids could be such a challenge. They are. And I have a greater appreciation for mothers that have to raise numerous children at the same time. And I've learned that a third child, especially when the other two are of a different gender, can be a real challenge. Oh, I thank God though that I did have a love line tonight, and it sort of uh, centered me a little bit more and helped me feel a little bit better because it was really a challenging day. And I'm really tired right now, but I didn't get a chance to do a video. The title that I've selected for this video is this: I'm thankful many now know about identity theft. Yes, it's Thanksgiving in the US tomorrow, but when you hear it, it'll be today. And I am truly thankful about many things. Perhaps one of the things I am most thankful for is the awakening of a multitude of people around the world, around the planet, who realize how our identities and value have been stolen by the so-called leaders of the world, also known as the Matrix. First of all, they were stolen by religious leaders who failed to tell us the truth about who we really are. Then they were stolen by banksters and business leaders who convinced us we lacked value and had to work hard to gain a pittance just to survive. Finally, they were stolen by our governments, the very people who are supposed to be protecting our rights. Yeah, right. Protect my ass. Government turns out to be the greatest threat to our identity of all by convincing us that they are our authority. Thank God knowledge of that is and will continue to change the dynamics of our world, ultimately leading to freedom and peace on earth. Knowing the truth of this is something to be most grateful for at this time of year and this evolutionary epoch. Let me begin by saying how religious leaders, and more specifically religions themselves, have stolen our identity. They have created, especially in Western religions, a great gulf between creator and creation, specifically between God and the children of God. They don't tell us that we're all children of God. Children of God is something we have to work hard to become, not something we are born with as a natural birthright. They've convinced us that we are sinners. They've convinced us that life, physical life, is just an illusion. They've convinced us that our sexuality is something that is immoral unless it's within a certain agreed upon confines. They've convinced us of many things that separate us from our highest good and mostly from our identity as sons and daughters of the Creator, having natural, unalienable rights that are ours by birth, not by religion, not by going through some ritual, not by belief system, not by anything, but by being born. We were born, and we've been told that we have to be born again. Well, we've been being born again and again and again and again through lifetime after lifetime as our soul has journeyed through this epoch of evolution that, quite honestly, is an epoch of amnesia. We forgot who we were, and we allowed our religions to take our identity and claim, or more specifically, to claim our identity for themselves. They are the authority on how things work, supposedly. And we bought the lie. We've been doing it all of our lives and many lifetimes before. Also, our identities were stolen by the banksters, as I call them, and business leaders who convinced us we lacked value. Indeed, all value comes from us. We are creative beings. That creation and the ability to work and to make things from something else, to transform substances, and to manufacture goods, and to perform services, and to create art. These gifts and talents and abilities are what gives us value. But we have been brainwashed into thinking we have no value, that value has to do with something called money, little pieces of paper, or even coins. No, value is something that is innate. It is something that we are born with. It is our birthright. And we are each, you might say in terms, millionaires or even billionaires. Actually, we have unlimited value if we could only get out of our own way and tell ourselves the truth and become convinced of who we are and the value of our infinite soul and our infinite creative ability and our infinite wealth in terms of our emotions and our thoughts and our even our bodies are tremendously powerful if we could only realize and tap into the gift that is ours by birth, and that know that the Creator is in each of us, and that the flame of freedom burns within each of us, and that wisdom dwells within each of us. And we are much more than we've been told, than we've been taught in the modern culture. And lastly, as I said, the government has stolen our value in ways that we are identity and value in ways that we have been totally unaware. They've convinced us that they are the authority, when actually all power, all legitimate power and authority comes from the people. We have all of the value. We are the creditors. And again, as I've said so many times, the government and the corporations and the banks are the debtors. They've turned everything around, stealing our value. They stole our name by putting it all in capital letters so that we think that that's us. That's not us. And actually, our name, whether it's in capital letters or not, is not us. It's simply a name. We are not a name. We are creators. We are spirits. We are eternal essence. And we have gifts beyond our wildest imaginations and a potential that has been untapped and is unlimited. But we weren't told that. We forgot that. We didn't know that. Whatever the reason, we have been kept in ignorance, and they literally stole our identity, and in stealing our identity, they stole our value. Did you know that every loan that a commercial institution makes is actually the reverse? We, who think of ourselves as borrowers, are in fact loaning them money. They are taking it from our value, which they have they have documented it with bonds called birth certificate bonds and other things. And they take this value and they transfer it through sleight of hand and make it look like they've given us something, when in fact all they're giving us is a debt receipt, because we hold that debt receipt thinking that we're the debtor, but it's the receipt of their debt to us. And then they convince us that we're supposed to pay it back. Give me a break. Everything in the universe is prepaid. Did you hear me? Everything is prepaid. It's all ours by right of birth or by birthright. It is our inheritance. And when we die to the game created by the false identity of ourself as a name, then we can move into our real identity as eternal spirits who happen to use names or not, happen to use money or not, happen to use things that the Matrix uses or not. But we then know who we are, and by taking back our identity and by taking back our value, we change the matrix, we change the world. And this is the process that we're in, and the process that I'm very thankful for. I'm thankful that so many of us are beginning to understand how this theft has worked. Yesterday I talked about the state is a gang of thieves writ large, which was actually a quote by Murray Rothbard. Many people, though, are realizing that the government is no one's friend. Government as an institution has been co-opted and distorted, and it is literally, it is a Ponzi scheme. Literally, it is a human slave trade. They have traded our identity for their empowerment and enrichment, and our disempowerment and impoverishment. That's what has happened to us. We have been the victims. We continue to be the victims if we choose to be. But because many are now talking about this, and many are now becoming aware of it, we're on the verge, on the very threshold of turning it all around. This year, Thanksgiving, between now and even the end of the year, we could see some major, major changes. And I believe we probably will, although I'm not going to hold my breath for a specific timetable because I've learned not to do that. However, it's more imminent now. The awakening is making the change more imminent than ever before. Something big is about to happen. And exactly how that's going to manifest, I really don't have the answer to that. But I know and I feel very strongly that we're on that threshold, that so many people who have been asleep, even among the elite that are the religious leaders, that are the banksters and corporate leaders and government officials, even these people that have played these roles are awakening. And this is something that is very good, because some of them are going to be able to help make it easier in this transition as we build a bridge from the old paradigm to the new paradigm, or as some say, from the third dimensional reality to the fourth or fifth dimensional reality, the reality of remembering who we are and gaining back our identity as eternal spirits, as souls that live forever and ever, and are children of God. This is where we are at this Thanksgiving time in 2013. This is where the awakening is, remembering who we are, and it's something to be grateful for. It's something to give thanks for. If you can thank God for our food, you can thank God for all of the things that we have, but mostly we can thank God that we are remembering who we are, that we are remembering our inheritance and our heritage and our essence. We are remembering the value of our infinite soul. We are remembering that we are connected each to the other, and that we've always been loved and we always will be connected. And there's nothing we can do in heaven or on earth to separate us from that love of our Creator for His creation, her creation, its creation, however you want to phrase it. It doesn't really matter, because it's all interconnected in a beautiful web of life. And knowing this is something that I'm grateful for. Even as tired and exhausted as I am, I'm thankful that many, many, many people are waking up And I'm feeling confident that we're so close to the breakthrough, the collapse of the old system, and the breakthrough as the new system not just coexists with the old system, but actually gains the dominant hand. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I expect. And I feel like it's very, very close to actual fulfillment, despite the fact that many still sleep, despite the fact that so many still want to resist, and because they don't know any better, they think that change is bad. No, change is what's on our doorstep, and we're going to go through a lot of good things. There's a lot that's on our plate that's going to transform our lives in ways that are just absolutely beautiful. Once again, I do thank you for listening, and I trust you'll have a wonderful Thanksgiving day. Or if you listen to this at another time, make every day a day of thanksgiving, a day of gratefulness. Thank you for listening. Namaste.